Imagine a world with no words, no names, no questions, no stories, just grunts, gestures, and sounds. Then, somewhere in our deep past, humans did something no creature had ever done before. They began to speak. So how did ancient humans learn to talk and unlock the most powerful tool in the history of life? For most of life's history, no animal on Earth could truly speak. Our earliest ancestors were the same, communicating with simple sounds, facial expressions, and body language, much like other animals do. Language does not fossilize, so we cannot dig up the first word ever spoken. Instead, scientists piece the story together from clues: the shape of ancient throats and skulls, the structure of the brain, and even genes linked to speech. Let's start with the body, because speaking is not just about the brain. It requires a body built for it, and humans are surprisingly special. Over time, the human throat, tongue, and voice box changed shape, allowing us to produce an incredible range of precise sounds. Our larynx, or voice box, sits lower in the throat than in other apes, which gives us a longer sound chamber and lets us make many more distinct sounds, though it also makes us more likely to choke. Evolution kept this risky design, which tells us how valuable speech must have been. There is a fascinating fossil clue here. A small, delicate bone in the throat called the hyoid bone helps anchor the muscles we use to speak. Archaeologists found a hyoid bone in a Neanderthal skeleton at Kabara Cave in Israel, around 60,000 years old, and it looks almost identical towers. This suggests our Neanderthal cousins may have had the physical equipment for speech too. The roots of language may be far deeper and older than just our own species. The most important changes were in the brain. Special regions developed that let humans connect sounds to meanings, arrange words in order, and understand the speech of others. Two areas in particular, known today as Broca's area and Wernicke's area, are crucial for producing and understanding language. When these areas are damaged, a person can lose the ability to speak or to understand words. The growth of these brain regions was a key part of becoming a talking species. Genetics has added another piece. Scientists discovered a gene, often called FOXP2, that is essential for normal speech and language. People with a faulty version struggle to control the fine movements needed to talk. This gene is found in many animals, but the human version has small but important differences. Remarkably, Neanderthals carried the same human version of this gene. It is not a magic switch for language by itself, but it shows that some of the genetic foundations for speech were already in place long ago. So why did humans develop speech when other animals did not? The answer is that, for us, communication was a matter of survival. Ancient humans lived in close groups and depended on each other completely. They needed to coordinate hunts, share where food and water could be found, warn of danger, and teach skills to the young. The better they could communicate, the better they survived. There was huge pressure favoring those who could share information clearly. The step-by-step, simple sounds gained shared meanings. Gestures became words. Words began to combine, and once humans could string words together to express endless new ideas, communication exploded into the rich, flexible language we know today. This is the real superpower of language. It lets knowledge travel between minds and across generations. Think about what that means. With words, a hunter could describe exactly where the herd was, without pointing. A parent could teach a child how to make a tool through explanation, not just imitation. The wisdom of elders could be preserved and passed on. Suddenly, humans did not each have to learn everything from scratch. They could build on the knowledge of everyone who came before. Language turned a group of individuals into a connected network of shared knowledge. Language did something even more astonishing. It let humans share things that do not physically exist. With words, ancient humans could talk about the past and the future, not just the present moment. They could describe things that were not there, imagine what might happen, and share plans, dreams, and beliefs. They could tell stories, pass down rules, and build shared myths that held large groups together. This ability to share imagined ideas is what allowed humans to cooperate in huge numbers. Whole communities could unite around common stories, beliefs, and goals. A shared idea, like a god, a law, or a tribe's identity, exists only in language, yet it can bind thousands of strangers together. In a very real sense, language did not just describe the human world, it helped create it. There is a clever theory about why language took off socially. Scientist Robin Dunbar points out that other primates bond by grooming each other, picking through fur, which is calming but slow, and you can only groom one friend at a time. As human groups grew larger, there was not enough time to bond with everyone this way. Dunbar suggests that language, especially talking and sharing news about each other, became a kind of vocal grooming. With words, you could bond with several people at once, gossip, build trust, and keep track of a large social group. Language may have replaced grooming as the glue of human society. Many scientists also think language did not begin with speech alone, but partly with gestures. We still wave, point, and use our hands constantly while talking, even on the phone. when no one can see us. Our ancestors likely communicated with rich gestures long before complex speech, and the two grew together. The deep link between our hands and our words may be a leftover from that gestural beginning. There is also evidence that the capacity for language is built into us from birth. Every healthy human child, in every culture, learns to talk at roughly the same age, soaking up grammar and thousands of words with almost no effort, simply by being around speech. No animal can do this. This suggests the human brain comes pre-wired with a powerful instinct for language, a deep readiness that countless generations of evolution installed in us. Singing may have played a role too. Long before precise words, our ancestors could have used melodic sounds and rhythm to express emotion, soothe babies, and bond as a group, much as a mother hums to a child today. Some researchers believe this musical, emotional communication was a stepping stone on the road to full language, a bridge between animal calls and human words. We can find indirect clues to when language took hold by looking for signs of symbolic thinking. Things like cave paintings, carved figures, and beads worn as jewelry all require a mind that can deal in symbols, where one thing stands for another, exactly like a word stands for an idea. When this kind of symbolic art and decoration appears in the archaeological record tens of thousands of years ago, it strongly suggests that complex language was already there, powering that symbolic imagination. Many scientists also believe that language and the brain grew together, each pushing the other forward. As speech became richer, it demanded a smarter brain to handle it, and a smarter brain made even more complex language possible. This powerful feedback loop may be one of the main reasons human intelligence raced so far ahead of every other animal. Talking did not just let us share our thoughts. The very act of developing language may have helped make us as clever as we're. Despite everything we have learned, the origin of language remains one of science's great mysteries. We do not know exactly when humans first spoke, what the first words were, or whether language appeared slowly or in a sudden leap. What we do know is that once it took hold, it transformed our species forever. Every other human achievement, art, tools, cities, science, depends on our ability to share ideas through language. It may be the most important thing our ancestors ever developed, and yet its earliest moments are lost forever, spoken into the air tens of thousands of years before anyone could write them down. The first conversations vanished the instant they were spoken, leaving no trace but their staggering consequences. Somewhere in the deep past, our ancestors did something miraculous. They took breath, sound, and meaning and wove them into words. And with those words, they connected their minds across distance and across time. Every conversation you have, every story you hear, every idea you share is part of that ancient gift. Learning to speak may have been the single greatest leap our species ever made, the moment humanity truly found its voice, and with it, the power to share the entire world inside our heads. Subscribe for more, and share your thoughts in the comments.